Hi guys, my name is Carrie Pendergrass. I am a local Chattanooga artist and art teacher. I am here on behalf of HMM, an organization who strives to promote the idea that we are all one world and we have one voice by practicing the art of being kind. I'm here as a guest to promote local artists, and I want to talk to you a little bit about what it is that I do. Um, I have a background in painting, and that's what I studied in college. And I've done a lot of different kinds of art media, but my main focus right now is on printmaking, which is something I've been doing for pretty solidly for the last little bit over 5 years. So this particular kind of printmaking is very non-traditional in the sense that its goal is not to make editions where I can print numbers of the same imagery. Instead, I am doing what's called monotypes, which are singular works just done through a printmaking process. So I'm going to show you a very brief example of something I'm working on. This is a larger piece with some designs on it. And this was a shape that I came up with. And in this particular piece, I'm basically just focusing on kind of harmonious colors, but also the idea of using one shape and lots of different directions and kind of adding movement that way, almost creating a chaotic sort of pattern. And most of my work is abstract these days. I have done a lot of realism and or slightly more realistic work in the past with portraits and various kinds of things like that. But I became interested in design and color relationships and kind of the use of shape and line and basic elements of art to create sort of organized chaos, I guess, for lack of a better way to state it, making abstract works that are focused more on color and shape, if that makes sense. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you the way I'm going about this one, and this is not how I do all of my work, but this one is way less planned than most of them are. This is a piece where as I said, it's all the focusing on the same shape right now, and my plan is to have a whole bunch of these and more colors, and I'm kind of building up different layers. What I'm using to make my monotypes are called gel plates, and they are they have a similarity to linoleum, flexible linoleum or rubber. They are these translucent plates, and they're usually a square or a rectangle, and they are different. They're in varying sizes, and you basically apply whatever your medium is to the surface of the plate, and then you're able to press it onto the paper and basically transfer an image. And there's a variety of ways to go about it, but basically I'm going to do something simple, which is use a stencil that I created. So I have a stencil already applied to a small plate here, and I am just going to apply some paint to the surface. So this is called a brayer, and anybody that's done any printmaking, I'm sure, has used a brayer before. It's basically just a roller. You usually roll ink or paint or whatever when you're making your prints. Most people use ink, and I use some inks, but for the majority of my work, I use acrylic paint. So I have my image on here, and now I'm just going to look for a place that I think that it works. And this is the part where things can start to get really complicated, but also kind of interesting. So it seems crazy because you can see that I've already printed on this, and each one of these was printed by itself. A lot of times in certain printmaking processes, each color is its own layer. In the case of this, I'm actually printing each image, each shape separately. So I put my plate on there, and I tend to do it this way, which is a little bit, seems a little bit like overkill to a lot of people, but basically what I do is I turn it over and I use what's called a baron, which is a special printmaking tool to be able to apply an even amount of pressure to make sure that your image seeps into the paper. So then I lift it up, and you can see that is the new image right there. So eventually, I hope to fill up the page with a lot of the same thing, kind of going different ways. So this is kind of a unique piece that, like I said, it's all, I do them all a lot differently. But if you're interested in seeing more of my work, you can visit my website at sewntothesea.com, or you can come by and see me in a few weeks at Four Bridges Arts Festival. We'll be at the Pavilion